Alright, what's up guys? This video, I'm just gonna warn you, it's not gonna be a pretty video. Um, if you tend to get sad in any way, I would recommend clicking away. Um, I'm not, I don't, I'm just doing this for therapeutic reasons. Maybe it'll help relieve some stress, because I don't know. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my life. Now, I realize that yes, this is personal, but it's just something I want to do. If I'm not going to include like the details of everything, but I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff. Okay, so here it goes. So, I was born in 1993, July 6th, to two parents who basically fought each other during that time. I have an older brother as well. My parents got divorced when I was 2 years old. I had to live with my mother, single mother. So when I finally started school, it seemed to be when things went really downhill. That's when I was picked on because I was wearing glasses at the time. I don't anymore because I just feel like people would still make fun of me to this day. Anyway, but yeah, I was bullied all the time, all throughout my life. But that's when it first started, was in preschool on up to now. But anyway, yeah, I've just been bullied for so many things. I was bullied for being fat as well because I had, when I was being bullied all the time, I had a weight problem because when I get bullied, I try to stuff my feelings with food and eat, more and more as I get more bullied and bullied more and more. And it was very unhealthy, and it would just add on to the bullying. Um, Throughout my school years, I had tried to commit suicide a couple of times, unsuccessfully. I first tried with pills. I've cut myself before to relieve stress. I really don't want to reveal this to you guys, but it's therapeutic for me. I just don't know. I've tried to hide it, but it's just I think it has to come out. So basically, my high school life was pretty fucked up. I've been cheated on multiple times, which is, I know, surprising for a man to say that, but yeah. But I have relationships that didn't work out as well, but it didn't get worse until after high school. It's just like a fucking snowball effect, to where it would roll downhill real quickly. I thought it would get better when school would when I would leave school, but it didn't. So basically, jump forward past school. I somehow graduated. I don't know how, but I did. Um, with really, I was so depressed during this time that I didn't have any goals of doing anything. So, I ended up getting a regular job, which I have to this day. Sadly, um, I don't, I don't have any goals of. I don't have basically. I didn't have. Excuse me. Not don't did. I didn't have any goals of doing anything because I was just so depressed that I didn't think I would achieve anything. Still kind of don't think I can achieve anything. Um, but the thing is, though, why the fuck am I doing this? Okay, I, I didn't have, you know, the opportunities that people have throughout their lives. I didn't have a car until I was 20. Um, didn't get to pursue college because I was apparently too stupid. Um, I didn't. I couldn't basically pass the what it was it SAT or whatever. Um, which is probably why my life is miserable. But anyway, so even if I tried, I still would have failed. But anyway, um, what else was I gonna say? I've had throughout my life, I've been very unlucky, and it seems like every time I try to open up to somebody or become friends with somebody, they just end up it ends up in a bad situation, and it ends up pretty much ends up terribly to where I'm alone, and I I want to say I'm used to it, but it still hurts to say. I just feel like that nobody likes me, and I think it's true, but you know, I, it's very little now, but it's still there. The thought is still there. It was really bad during certain times. I just have thoughts in my head of doing stuff to myself always. It comes every now and then, but it was really bad during that time, especially when I tried to commit suicide a couple of times. Um, through depression, the depression is still there. Even though I try to mask it, it's still there. I try to be, positive, but it ends up going downhill. I've tried just pursuing forward. Um, I've given back, I've tried to be nice throughout my life. I've tried being nice and giving back to people, and it just seems like nobody cares what I do, what I say. Everybody ignores me, and it just feels like I'm just alone, you know. it just feels like that sometimes, and it just hits me like a wall, like a brick wall, and it all comes at once, and it's so emotionally traumatizing to me. Um, which leads me up to some more stuff. I'm not trying to take up too much of your time. I'll try to get through this shit quickly. But anyway, people when I so like I said before, when my mom and dad um like I said before, they separated, I had a like a to help you with that relationship and what was going on. Like I said, I was living with my mom, and I would see my dad every now and then, but he would tell me stories of them fighting, and 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 he would say it was the worst years of my life, of his life. But yeah, um he would tell me that, and he was so thankful to get out of that shit. I'm not saying my mom's a bad person, but to him, she was at the time. Um, she uh, she and him did not get along well, and that kind of affected me a little bit. It sort of subsided. Oh God, you have to understand that me and my dad were close, real close. Um, God. So I don't know if I'm gonna edit some of this shit out, but fuck me. So before I get to that, the whole story about that my dad and stuff, um, some other things that happened to me. Uh, I've been in multiple car wrecks. I've had a bad luck with that. I've had, let's see how many, 4 or 5 car wrecks. 3 of which were 18 wheelers, where I almost died a couple of times. As far as my job life goes, I'm barely making it. Um, I pay bill to bill by myself. Um, it's just like I just have this problem with people letting people in my life to 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 the point of, I don't know what else to do, because I just have, I don't know, trust issues. I don't know what the fuck it is. It just, like, ever since my dad told me about him and and my mom, it just kind of, I guess, affected me, that and being bullied. Because when I was bullied, I'm bullied all the fucking time. And even though people can shrug it off so easily, it's just something that's ingrained in me since I was in preschool, when I was a kid. And I know that when you're a kid, and people who are kids who get traumatized in some way or form or fashion, it haunts them for the rest of their fucking lives. And that's just something that's been ingrained in me since I was a kid. So I guess that's why usually my relationships, whether it be with girlfriends or friends, usually end up poorly. So like I said, I was close to dying a few times, and honestly, during that time, I was depressed as well. Didn't care. I was hoping to die. At that time, I was hoping to die. I was ready to die. I didn't care. Now, the wrecks weren't my fault, but at that time, during the wreck, after wreck, I was hoping, please get me the fuck out of this life. And I was so depressed, so in a shell, that it was just so overwhelmingly, I had nobody. I have nobody to lean on to where I can feel comfortable enough to have said this stuff. But like I said, I finally just said fuck it and get this shit off my chest. So anyway, my story is not over yet. But yeah, like after the car wrecks, that's kind of recent. The last car wreck was maybe a year ago. So just as I thought it wouldn't get worse, oh, it did. So basically, you remember my brother? So basically, I'm not trying to say he's bad, but he's sort of a bum in the sense that he doesn't want people to. He doesn't have a job, and he tries to get money off people. He did it with my mom, and he would use my dad. And it would piss me off. He would use my dad and try to get money off him. And even okay. And like the thing about it is he is not mentally right. I'm not saying he has a mental problem. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't fucking know. But my mom and dad were telling me that when he was younger, he had tried to go in the military, and basically it traumatized him so badly that it changed his his mind frame. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. He hasn't been well since. My family is fucked up. I've had cousins who have been terrible people. Like my one cousin, I'd rather not say his name, but he had stabbed his pregnant girlfriend 30 times, killed the baby, and killed her. He's in jail for the rest of his life. I've had uncles who have gotten into trouble with the wrong people and ended up being shot. Like one uncle was shot in the head and set on fire in his truck because he apparently didn't pay. I believe he didn't pay a druggie or something. He didn't pay up his money, his end of the bargain or something. I don't fucking know the details. Like I said, my cousin, the one that stabbed people, my uncle's son, my uncle was pretty traumatized by that, and he was very sad about that as well. I've had my other uncle who basically supposedly killed himself. He shotgunned himself in the stomach multiple times. I don't think it was suicide, but I don't know. It might have been, I may be overreacting about that, but I don't think you can shoot yourself 2 or 3 times in the stomach with a shotgun and keep shooting after one shot. But anyway, yeah, that happened. Although when I wasn't close to him as I was the other uncles that I have and cousins. So that's my fucked up family in a nutshell. God help me. Okay. So recently, I'm going now to the recent shit. The grand fucking finale, I guess you would call it. But my father. So this happened recently. What's April? Right? Something. April 15th or 16th. Yeah, 16th. This happened roughly, I want to say, February, March, September. It was like 4 months before October, I believe. Sometime before that, I don't know. I'm not too sure about the details of what exact times. I'm not good with that. So my father was going ill. And I didn't know it. Nobody knew it because my father is close to himself. He does not like telling anybody he's hurt. He doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. He doesn't want to make people sad. Oh God. So he was feeling ill. He thought it was something, he thought it was something, curable and stuff like that. And it was just something simple that he could get rid of, but it wasn't. He thought he had something. I don't know what he thought he had. But it just got worse over time. It would just get worse and worse and worse and worse. And I had to watch that all the way through that. I had to experience that full hand. So he had eventually developed pneumonia and got lung cancer. And it would get worse. He didn't want to go on chemo because I know how chemo is, because I've known people who are on chemo and it's just a living hell. So he just decided that he wanted to let it take hold and he'll pass away. So I had to watch him. He couldn't even take care of him. He couldn't even take care of himself. And he was just slow. I think he had like a stroke during it because like one point, his arm wouldn't work. One of his arms wouldn't work, and he couldn't take care of himself. So he had like I said, his voice would go. He could barely even fucking talk. I couldn't hardly understand him. And it was so, we had to take him to the hospital. He had to go to hospice care multiple times. And during that, it was just so traumatizing to me to watch him, somebody I love so much, go through that shit. because I know he was hurting on the inside. I know he was. But he, like I said before, he didn't want to show it. He wanted to be, loving and strong. But I knew he was in pain. Because I could tell people when people are in pain. Because I've been through that shit of being in pain. So I know when people are in pain. Anyway, so I would have to go and visit him all the time in hospice care and watch him. And I could barely stay in the fucking room without fucking crying because it was so bad. He could barely even fucking move at one point, and he could barely even talk. And it was just so bad. What he went through. And like I said, I think it traumatized me. Oh, well, no, I can't even fucking talk. So another thing fucking traumatized me. I had to go through that bullshit. And then, I was heading off because I had work. My stupid job I had to do. I was heading home. I got the call. It was my mom. She said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Okay." "What's up?" She said, "He passed away." I dropped the phone. I cried. I think I cried myself to sleep. I get emotional every time I talk about him. I try to get over it. I can't, like I said, it's traumatizing. I can't. So he was, okay, let me stop real quick. So I had went down to see him the next morning. Saw his lifeless body. I cried and cried and cried until I couldn't cry anymore. It was just so. It was the first time ever that I had somebody who I truly was close to just disappear, just go away like that. And it was just so sad to see him go through that shit. And it traumatized me so badly. And I know I said that multiple times, but yeah. But we had the funeral and everything. That happened in October of last year. So 17, roughly, I don't remember exactly when in October, but it was October of 2017. So not that long ago, actually. So roughly half a year ago. Yeah. Ever since then, it's just still bad. So as far as this YouTube thing goes, this YouTube thing was for me to sort of heal myself. That's why I do it, is to heal myself, to, if I can't, so I make it this YouTube channel to heal myself and also to maybe make other people laugh and have an opportunity to love themselves. And I don't even. Okay. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but uh, it's just been a downhill roller coaster, and you know, I tried to mask my pain, mask everything, try to be improve by having fun, trying to have fun, trying to be funny for others, be entertaining. I don't know where I'm going from this point on with my life. I don't know if I'll get better or if I'll get worse. I don't know. So that's basically it. Um I don't know what else to say. I don't know if I missed anything. Probably did, but yeah. So that's been my life. Thanks at least for listening, I guess. Thank you. Bye.